Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special Thursday night edition of Dog's Day. It is September 11th, 2025. Yes, a very morbid date, but a day that lived in infamy in United States history, and a day we will never forget. But it is definitely 24 years since that has occurred. Thankfully, we haven't had anything similarly occur like that in American in recent years. But there has been an uptick in a lot of unfortunate shootings, and just today or yesterday now we had the shooting of the what's this guy Charlie Kirk. And he was delivering like a speech at like a college in Utah, and he got shot right in the neck. Somebody sniped him, and he was talking about gun violence, and then he got shot. I think somebody was asking him about school shootings and things like that, and then he said, "Well, are we talking, with or without gang violence?" And right after he said that, he got shot right in the neck, and it was pretty graphic. So yeah, we thankfully haven't had any like major terrorist attacks like that, but we've since had a lot of unfortunate shootings, mass shootings ever since. So, but now let's get past the sad part of our introduction here. It's just the date that we're doing it. You can't help but to acknowledge what date it is. Let's get into it. So, just to give you a synopsis, the beginning here, what we're going to talk about, Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and of course the links I have from Instagram and some of the things that I took pictures of, and I think so I'm going to provide links for you guys to go and look at on there as well. So right off the bat, we're going to talk about SmackDown from last week, because we got SmackDown from last week, we got Raw from this week, and a little bit of the week prior, and AEW. What not everything's not going to be you guys know I don't do recaps. I only talk about the things that interest me and give my thoroughbred thoughts on them. So on SmackDown, we had AJ return last week, and she got a hell of a pop. For people that want to compare, I still don't think it was as sustained as CM Punk's was, or anything like that. But it was definitely good to see her back. And, prior to that last SmackDown before that, we had the segment where Becky was smacking CM Punk in the face on Raw. And then he went to Adam Pearce and he's like, "Hey, where's SmackDown at this coming Friday?" He said, "Chicago," right? It's like, oh, okay, tremendous. That right there, we knew AJ was coming back to SmackDown last week. So they were in Chicago, and if I had known that they were going to be in Chicago, and that's what I was coming to expect, I probably would have went. But I haven't been to a show in forever and a day. And I think the last time I even went to Chicago for anything wrestling related, it may have been AEW, like baseball game, charity baseball game they may have had. I have to go look, because maybe it was when I met Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, and AJ the same day. Met AJ at Challengers Comics, and maybe, yeah, because I'm trying to see. Because if it was when Sasha Banks was at Cricket, obviously she was still at WWE, and her name was still Sasha Banks. This had to be 2021. So I don't remember the last time I went to Chicago for an event. And that same day that AEW had that charity baseball game was the same day, unfortunately, Daphne passed away. So if you all remember any of those dates, then you can help me remember more than I can on my own here. But it would have been nice to have been there to see AJ return. The ticket prices are just crazy now, and we go talk about that a little bit later. Something regarding events and ticket prices and stuff like that. But AJ returned, and it started. We know how it started. It was Becky getting heat from Chicago crowd, and Becky's real good at being. I think she's better as a heel than she is a face, quite honestly. And then Seth comes out. They had on matching outfits, like both orange and white trousers and whatnot. And then Punk comes out and he's like, "Look, I can't hit you, but I know somebody who can." And that's when AJ came out and got a huge pop and went in and attacked Becky and stole the title, which, we'll get to the Raw section in a little bit. But this also had a segment because we got Tiffany Stratton feuding with Jade. And I just can't get over it. If Sable and Mark Merrow had a child, it would have been Tiffany Stratton. She has their face put together. She looks like she could be their daughter. Because she just does to me. And then she's feuding with Jade, and Jade is like Black China. Not that Black China, but she's like a Black China, from the musculature to the height, to the imposing stature. She could be like China was, but the African American version of her. So now you basically got Sable, in my opinion, Sable and Mark Merrow's daughter, the new Sable. Definitely not from a ring standpoint, but she looks like her a lot. Feuding with the black version of China, and it's just cool to me. We never actually got China versus Sable outside of some interview that they had together where they kind of shot on each other. Sable was saying that she alluded to China using steroids and shit like that, and China said she'll legitimately break her in half and whatnot. So that was the closest we ever got to it. And being able to play with them against each other in attitude, because that was the only game that they were both in. I think that may have been the only game up until SmackDown vs. Raw, actually until Here Comes the Pain, and then SmackDown vs. Raw that Sable was in. She wasn't in many WWE games at all, maybe 3. But the only game her and China were both in was Attitude. So, yeah, there you have it with that. Sammy had a segment with John Cena, and Cena came out with a dope-ass, Chicago Cubs themed, shirt. It was really dope. Hope they make a figure of it. But Sammy got booed in the segment with Cena. And it's crazy. It's why do we hate Sammy now? Why are we booing Sammy? I hope that's not something that stays, because I still think he's winning the Royal Rumble next year when they have it in Saudi. And I think it just got announced that WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi. So in 2027, 2026, or some shit like that. 2027, I think. So, yeah, that's polarizing news. I mean, Saudi is trying to make progressive moves as far as the way they treat women and, letting them drive and things like that now, but it's still got that stank on it from the way things used to be there. People still haven't gotten over what happened with Jamal Khashoggi out there. And, among other things, the way things are ran out there under Sharia law, I believe. But, yeah, why are we booing Sammy? So he had a match with Cena, and it was kind of a callback to when they had that match a while ago when Cena was the United States champion, and he challenged Sammy. And that was the same match. Sammy got so excited because Bret Hart announced him to the ring. He got so excited and he was doing his entrance that he popped his shoulder. And that was when Cena was doing the United States Championship Open Challenge. I think 2015, was it? Was it 2015? But so now Sammy's the United States champion, and he's getting a match against Cena. But the match went to a no contest. But what's noteworthy about the match is that so Cena's been doing this thing in the past few matches since he's turned back babyface. Kind of like doing homages to wrestlers he's faced in the past and using their finishers. And in this match with Sammy, he used the GTS. And even in the match with Logan Paul, he used like 3 different moves. Like I think Logan Paul used a zigzag, and the announcer. And here's the funny part: the announcer's like, "Oh, that's like a Dolph Ziggler move." When then Logan Paul did the zigzag, then Cena does a Styles Clash. Oh, that's AJ Styles' move. But then Cena did like a what do you do? End of days, no mention of Baron Corbin's. What everyone's talking about, like, and since Baron Corbin's left, he has been a little bit vocal about the way he, left WWE and feeling like there's someone there who didn't like him, and maybe that person made the call to the announcers, like, hey, don't mention anything related to Baron Corbin when Cena hits the end of days. But, some people like, man, like, why is he hitting these moves and getting 2 counts and shit like that? And the way I see it is like, we have to turn on and off when we look at wrestling, like, similarly to, like, combat sports, like martial arts and MMA and things like that. Because if we turn on our ability to look at it like martial arts, we look at it from the form of, like, techniques and shit like that, right? Like, we watching Dragon Ball Z, and Master Roshi may teach Goku the Kamehameha wave, right? But it becomes Goku's signature through practice. He defeated so many people with it. But Krillin does not defeat anybody with the Kamehameha wave, even though he knows it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit like martial arts techniques. Somebody comes and says, hey, I want to teach you this technique. The more you practice with it, the better you are with it. You go from a novice using it to adept to advanced. And then, so Cena using, like, all these guys as finishers that he's paying homage to and getting 2 counts. If you look at it from that perspective, it's like, it's sensible. It makes sense. It's plausible for him to get a 2 count because he isn't using this move 16, 20 years like these other guys are. You know what I'm saying? AJ Styles been using a damn Styles Clash since 2022. You know what I mean? So it makes sense for Cena to only use it in 1 match to get 2 count, whereas AJ Styles uses it. He gets one, he gets a 3 for the most part. Or like if he was to use a super kick, I would expect Cena to get a 1 count. You know what I'm saying? Or a 2 count. But when Shawn Michaels uses it, that's it. That's numbers. That's ball game. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it from that perspective, when you turn on your, okay, wrestling is like martial arts, wrestling is like a combat sports, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Stone Cold does a Stone Cold Stunner, and I remember he got offended. Some of these wrestlers go to other wrestlers like, hey, can I have your blessing to use this move? And some wrestlers may give it to him with the mindset of no, because yes, because I know you can't do it like me. So yeah, go ahead and do it. They might say, yes, you can do it. You know what I mean? But I know he can't do it like me. Some of them may take it as a compliment. Oh, you want to use my move? Yeah, go ahead. But others may look at it as a bastardization of their move, kind of like Jake Roberts does with the DDT. Like, I'm sure he doesn't, everybody's using the DDT, and it's a 2 count move. It's a regular move now. And sometimes wrestlers don't like it when they move becomes a regular move like that. Look at the super kick. Look at the Canadian Destroyer. It's people no selling the Canadian Destroyer in AEW every match on every card. But when Christopher, Petey Williams used to use it, that was it. Back when it was still novel and he was the only one using it. So sometimes wrestlers don't mind it. Sometimes they get a little irritated when people use their move and it's only a 2 count. But other times some wrestlers look at like, yeah, them getting a 2 count just shows like, hey, when I did it, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's saying like, hey, you can't do it like me, you know? But yeah, so then Brock returned. The match went to a no contest. Brock returned, gave them both F5s. Got a decent pop. That SmackDown episode was a treat for the guys in the audience in Chicago. You know, you got to see Brock, got to see AJ return. So that's pretty dope. And Punk is the only person that could come back in the same city like that in two different companies in the same decade and get a huge pop like that. Even though I think the one he got in AEW when he returned the first time was a better crowd pop, they did not shut up at all. It was almost like his Triple H comeback. I think it was a better return than him at Survivor Series because just how much it meant more and how long he was gone than him returning to Survivor Series. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's dope. You and your wife got a major pop in y'all hometown that y'all already from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was pretty awesome. And I'm very happy AJ's back. AJ, according to, bodyslam.net, has signed a full-time multi-year contract and expected to be a fixture in the women's division. So just think of all the feuds we could have. Her versus this new Bayley that we're about to get. When Naomi comes back, we could get her and AJ, and them both having a crazy person gimmick will be kind of awesome to see. You know what I'm saying? And then next year, we're going to have Victoria, Naomi, and AJ in the same game. But more on that later about Victoria. We'll mention her in a bit. Going into Raw, she also had a promo on Raw, which was pretty much bringing up people up to speed. Even in the beginning of her promo, she's like, hey, my name is AJ Lee. If you're wondering why your millennial parents were so excited to see me, I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. So, off to a good start. The promo was really good. She does her mannerisms and her hand gestures like only she could. And, she still had Becky Lynch's championship, which she eventually gave back after Becky came out with some red glasses on, all red ensemble. And come to find out she had a black eye from when AJ beat her up on SmackDown the week prior. And, Seth comes out and he's like, look, I'll go in and get the belt from her. And AJ's like, oh, okay. I didn't think of that. I didn't think to just give you the belt back. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. And she's like, hey, you could get the belt back only if two things. I forgot what the other thing she said, but the first thing she said is that she wants to have a match with her and Punk going against Becky and Seth at WrestlePalooza. And they agreed to it. Seth agreed to it, much to the chagrin of Becky. But he came in and he was getting really irritated because AJ's got that playful gimmick. She's like getting in front of Seth so he won't get the belt and doing her little cute, puppy dog eyes and skipping, thing with her one leg up. Seth's like, look, I'm getting really, irritated. And that's when Punk came out. Came right behind, Becky. And Becky moved back a little bit and was, touching behind her. It's like, oh, no, who is this? And it's Punk. And then Punk goes in and attempts to give a GTS to Seth. And then, AJ threw the belt to Becky. So we got them officially going against each other at WrestlePalooza, which is no surprise, but that means that we're guaranteed to have Seth still have the belt for a little bit. But that was that. And then Rusev beat Penta in the match. I forget who interfered, causing Penta to lose. But I'm not too really keen on Penta losing all these matches as of late. Hopefully he could go get his momentum back. But Penta lost to Rusev. I think Rusev beat him with like a Machka kick. Catch and finisher is what Rusev used. Um, and then we had AJ Styles do a shoot promo. It's kind of sort of during the commercial break. And he's like, "Look, I ain't got Gallows and Anderson. You got Meechin on SmackDown, and it just seems like they're trying to take away all of my resources. It's like somebody doesn't want me here." So some people took that as like kind of a shoot promo, but I went. It wasn't much to ride home about to me. But we got more AJ Styles news to talk about a little bit later. He won the match against El Grande Americano. Jesus, my bad. That's clearly not Kaiser. But anyway, he beat him, and I'm glad to see AJ win the match for once, because everybody's like tripping about him jobbing out, and I'm glad he won the match, you know. And what's dope is I noticed little nuances. When he hit Americano with the Styles Clash, you could completely see like Americano like not tucking his chin, like making an effort to like move his like head back. Like, and I'm like, that is the way you're supposed to take a Styles Clash. Like, be ready to move your head the opposite of what every bump is in wrestling, so you will not take it the wrong way. So I noticed that. I thought that was a good little touch, even though it's how you're supposed to take the bump. I kind of like what they're doing with LA Knight feuding with like Jay. Like, there's still dissension between them two, but like Jimmy's trying to be like the mediator, because you know him and Jimmy are gonna be facing Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker at WrestlePalooza too. But I like how like even like Jimmy's kind of sort of cool with Jay. I mean, Jimmy's kind of sort of cool with LA Knight. Like, even LA Knight had a backstage segment with Jimmy. It's like, look, I kind of ain't forgot about what you guys did when I fought. Like, Jay stopped me from winning the championship, and then you were the one that stopped me from winning the championship against Roman way back. So they're referencing some, previous things and keeping up with continuity. I like to see that. Even though everybody's alignments have changed, Jay and Jimmy are baby faces now, and Jay's people kind of think he's heel. Well, he's really just, it's not like that. It's just he don't fuck with LA Knight. You know what I'm saying? So I'll speak on a little segment they had in a little bit, Jimmy and Jay in the back, regarding that. That's something that you should see. I'm going to provide a link for. Asuka beat Nikki. And what's noteworthy about this match, I guess Nikki, is having a little comeback run still, is that Asuka beat Nikki. And prior to her beating her, so the Empress Impact isn't the running, like, it's not like Jada Parker's like hypnotic anymore. It's like a spinning heel kick. At least that's what the announcers called it when she did it, because and Nikki didn't sell it too good. Nikki has not, in ring wise, been the best since this comeback run. Not that Nikki Bella was really ever great in the ring, but she's regressed. And she hasn't been in the ring in a while. So, I give her some benefit of doubt, but you're not supposed to notice how bad you are like this. You know what I'm saying? It's egregious. But she sold to, Asuka hit her with a spinning heel kick and then hit her with the Asuka lock. Not the one that she used to do right when she first started wearing the paint again, like a butterfly. It was like a butterfly stretch. But the Asuka lock, the crossface chicken wing-ish one. So that was good to see again. And then, let me see, what else? I also liked when AJ did her promo. She kind of did a little wink to the hard cam about her being New York Times bestseller with her book, Crazy is My Superpower, just like Becky was with her book. I like that. That was pretty, that was kind of a nice touch. But that's it for what I have for Raw until I get to the Instagram portion of it. NXT-wise, I kind of like what they're doing with Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace. So they had a little segment last week. I think, it was last week's episode, because I think this week, I don't remember what happened this week between them. I don't think they had anything this week. But Jordan Grace last week had a match with the Evolve Women's Champion, Callie Armstrong. And she beat her, you know what I'm saying? Evolve is pretty much what NXT is to the main roster. It's their little brother. They're developmental. So you had the developmental champion from Evolve, which their championships look pretty dope. I like the white on silver with their women's championship. But she beat Callie Armstrong. And her and Blake Monroe had a little scrap after the match. And Blake Monroe got sent to the stairs and she started bleeding. And it just reminded me of No Mercy. Like, instead of like panicking, you start to see her have this like psychotic look in her face to react to her blood. Kind of reminded me of No Mercy. Like, when you create your character, you could set like, if they get momentum from bleeding, like it makes them go crazy, or if it makes them weak. So that, I thought that was pretty cool. But I think it was last week too, the DIY returned with the old theme. And, you know, it's funny how some things are non-canon. Like on the main roster, DIY are heels. And here in NXT, they returned old school style, because NXT Homecoming's coming up, to the old thing with the old shirts, and got cheered as baby faces. And the statement against Trick Williams. They hit him with the meet in the middle. And then this week, we had DIY come out, and Trick came out. He's like, I came out here, but I'm not alone. And then Carmelo Hayes' music plays. And Carmelo NXT versus Carmelo on the main roster. I mean, they're kind of doing something with him and Miz. That's good to see. But he was the shit up in NXT, man. He was awesome in NXT. He's still trying to find his way on the main roster, though. So, but they're doing something with him and Miz. It's good to see. So we're gonna begin Carmelo and Trick versus DIY at NXT Homecoming. And I'm cool with that, you know? Because people sleep on DIY on the main roster. And maybe they didn't see how good they fucking were on the NXT roster, but them motherfuckers was hot on NXT. They was having some really good matches with, you know, FTR, but back at the time, the Revival, classics, you know what I'm saying? So, hopefully you could get a glimpse of that, and they could bring that back with them too. Bring back that old DIY that had classics in NXT, you know what I'm saying? Black and gold. But, anybody notice like how Josh Briggs looks kind of like a bigger version of Austin Theory? He's coming along too. He's finding his footing too and coming into his own as a performer with his little feud with Javon Evans. He beat him this week. It's just, I don't know. I don't know about his finisher just yet. Because he kind of does a choke slam and then a big boot. To me, it makes more sense to do the big boot and then pick him up. And then him with a choke slam, kind of like, you know, the one that Eric Rowan does. But Eric Rowan does like a claw slam. But to me, it would make more sense if, like, you know, Josh Briggs did like a running big boot and then like gave him a choke slam. But he does it the other way around. And like even his character trolling people, like making people think Undertaker was coming out last week. Yeah, he's kind of coming to his own as a dick character. But Joe Hendry is just cracking me up with like these random appearances this week. And it's just always like right now it's involving a lot of Dark State. What's the guy's name? I can't think of the tall dunce member of him who's always saying gay shit. Cutler James. But the past few times, because they still kind of feuding with Hank and Tank, they probably closed in a feud now though, because they they kind of beat him this week with a roll up, and then the week before that, Hank and Tank actually beat Dark State due to Joe Hendry coming out. But this week, Cutler James was choking somebody right up at the entranceway. Now, you know how they have that little dais that I would think when Blake Monroe debuted, she was on it. They had that little dais on NXT where people come and do announcements or stuff like that. This time, freaking Cutler James was choking somebody out. And the guy said Joe Hendry's name. And Joe Hendry bust through the fucking like bottom of the dais like the Kool-Aid Man. It was hilarious. So I'm definitely going to provide a link to that. But I love how they're doing it with Joe Hendry because it's pretty much like a trope. Kind of like how we used to have like Kofi Kingston always do his little thing at the Royal Rumble, or kind of like how we have R-Truth always come out in the wrong match and try to like one year at the Royal Rumble he come out with a ladder, thinking it's a ladder match, the Money in the Bank ladder match, or one segment he thinks he's in the match that he isn't, or one moment, I think one year he came out and tried to enter the Women's Royal Rumble. It's like tropes. It's like Joe Hendry becoming like a trope. Like where's Joe Hendry going to pop up from now? Is he going to pop up from the rafters, from under the ring, under the ring like Kane used to when he dragged somebody to hell? Is he going to, come from out of the crowd? What's Joe Hendry going to come from? So I like how they're doing it, and they're blending in his comedic, character with Cutler James, because Cutler James is pretty much going to become like, he's basically what R-Truth was to Judgment Day and what Sami Zayn was to the Bloodline. He is to Dark State, like the comedic element. And that's usually a lot of times in the modern era what can give a stable extra life. So I'm glad they're doing that with him, but not just the pause moments with him, but now blending him in with Joe Hendry. So I think that's pretty dope. Also NXT, some things that caught my eye. We got Tyler Breeze coming back. He's been in the games for the past few years because he's still, I think he has an affiliation with WWE as far as like I think the school that he's with has like an ID program with WWE. But he's been in the past few games, even though he hasn't been active in WWE. He's been in the past few games, but now he actually returned. NXT Homecoming, he's going to be facing fucking Ethan Page, who also has got great comedic chops. Perfect match. Tyler Breeze was always really good in the ring. A lot of people say, I remember back then, a lot of people saying that he kind of reminded them of Christian because he was like perennial underdog, but could put on really good matches and make his moments in the matches count. So kind of underrated. Always in the best matches, but never the winner. Always puts on good performances. And didn't look like he aged a bit. Looked like he came right out of 2014. Theme and all, look and all. Same hairstyle and all. Not short like it was last time he actually did have a match in NXT. The old ponytail. So, I thought that was pretty cool. He came out and basically, after the match at Tavian Heights, a flag match Tavian Heights would had with Ethan Page, which Tavian Heights won. He came out and did a selfie to Ethan Page's prone body after he got laid out by Tavian Heights. So he still got the selfie stick. It's pretty dope. So I was just happy to see Tyler Breeze back. But we also had a match like Saul Ruka. I don't know how they had the accuracy down. She accidentally hit Zarya with a soul snatcher. And what do you guys think about this? Saul Ruka having a finisher called the Soul Purpose. Um, I think that'd be a good finisher name for her. Maybe when she has it where, because sometimes you get like so many times like the person uses like their diving finisher, they only start popping it out here and there. Like even Ember Moon, well, not Ember Moon now, but Athena. I think she has some type of submission move when she doesn't feel like doing the fuck is the name of her move? It's not the the old face. Um, the dive and stunner move she does. I think she has like a submission move she does when she can't do that because it does take a toll on her tailbone, I'm sure. So Ruka, she's always landing, your bump card. So she's always landing on her back when she does the soul snatcher. Maybe she could have a move called the soul purpose that she uses. If she doesn't already, from all I know, when she can't, do that move, when she's not up to doing that move because of, the height and always land on her back from that move at such a height. Sometimes she does a springboard version too that's not as high up from the third rope, what have you. But I thought it'd be cool if she had a move called Soul Purpose. But during this match, they had like a tag team elimination match. She was gonna, I guess face Judgment Day, Roxy, and or I don't know. Are they bringing back the NXT tag team titles? Maybe they are facing Judgment Day, but Roxy and Raquel. So it's an elimination tag team match, and I think Zarya is about to hit. No, Saruka was about to hit Tatum Paxley with the Soul Snatcher, right? And then somebody from Fatal Influence, I believe, pushed Zarya, and then Zarya moved Tatum Paxley out the way and got hit with a perfect Soul Snatcher. Like, it was crazy. And they've been having like a few matches where, they inadvertently like hit each other. I think the last match that Saul Ruka had, where she defended the North American Championship, the Women's North American Championship. I think fucking Zarya accidentally speared her or something. So yeah, this was kind of an inadvertent receipt for that. But yeah, that match is going to be crazy, and it's going to be hard seeing them because you see all their Instagram posts and everything like that. It's going to hit the NXT crowd and feels when Zarya and Soul Ruka actually do feud, and I think Zarya turn heel because she should be a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? She's a little Beth Phoenix-ish. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit of musculature and badassery to her character and look. She should be running through motherfuckers. And that's kind of what they started with when she first debuted. Because she's, her finisher's fucking F5 before, after a spear. So she should be breaking bitches in half. You know what I'm saying? So maybe her turning heel again and bring that back. But, who won that match? Oh, yeah, it was Tatum Paxley and, Izzy Dame, I believe. Yeah, so they're going to be, I guess, facing Roxy and Raquel for the women's tag team titles. And then we are going to be having Stephanie. This is a power team right here. Who the fuck in their right mind would bet Fatal Influence is going to win this match? We got Tiffany Stratton, because Stephanie Recur came out when Fatal Influence is out there. And Stephanie is like, hey, do you know what time it is? Tiffany comes out. And then Fatal Influence, specifically Jason Jennings, like, oh, I see what it is. This is like super senior, and you're coming back to try to regain your popularity in high school. I see what it is. And they're like, oh, I don't think mommy's going to appreciate being called a super senior. Rhea Ripley comes out to a huge pop, right? Who the fuck in their right mind thinks Fatal Influence is going to beat this team? I mean, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Stephanie Recur. And you just know if they weren't doing what they were doing with Bailey right now, she's kind of like venturing down this dark path. And Asuka being a heel, her back and forth with Rhea on the main roster, they would have definitely had that been, probably Rhea Becky and Rhea Bailey and Asuka, which Fatal Influence still would have gotten murked. I mean, come on now. Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley are going to get killed. You know what I'm saying? They don't compare to anybody in that team. So, and yeah, they're going to get destroyed. I'd be surprised if he won that match. I mean, who do you have pinned in that match? Nobody. But anyway, moving on to some of the pictures I have here. Rock lost a lot of weight. Rock is looking kind of like an older version of 2002, 2003 physique Rock. He don't have to have all that muscle mass at this age anymore because he's probably not going to wrestle anymore. And he had all that muscle mass because he wanted to, he had to play Mark Kerr. Speaking of which, he got a huge, they basically gave him the Brendan Fraser whale treatment during the screening of the movie. Made him cry and everything when they had like a little screening of it, which he was in the crowd for. And I don't know if it's gone down since I took the screenshot, but apparently the movie has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Make of that what you will. It went from people thinking it was a parody and laughing at the cheesy trailer to it having 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm going to watch it because I love The Rock. Even though his ego has kind of been a little bit crazy in recent years with power plays and just kind of inserting himself into WrestleMania storylines the past few years, I still love The Rock. The Rock was one of my favorites growing up. I love the Final Boss. I love every iteration of The Rock, from The Nation to Corporate Heel to Hollywood to 2003, like athletic moveset Rock. 2003, 2002 Rock was his most athletic as far as like being taken seriously as an athlete. Like he's doing kip ups and just looked the most lean and athletic he had ever been. But and was his most fast and agile. But yeah, he lost about 50 pounds. Another thing I had a note of here. So like Will Smith got kind of thrown on the bus. What else is new? Ever since he slapped Chris Rock, him and Jada and shit, he's been getting thrown under the bus quite a lot. People don't respect Will Smith like they used to. Especially recently, he had some controversy about him having an AI audience in one of his concerts or shows. So my question to you guys is, do you think that AEW or WWE will get desperate enough to do the same shit at a show that didn't have enough or a lot of people in the audience and going to alter like the crowd and like future like episodes of Raw and SmackDown that they'll have on Netflix or like recaps or like when they upload the episode. Let's say like they're in some place like Corpus Christi or some shit like that, because they already do the crowd noise shit, right? Sometimes super egregiously, and it's like, dude, like this is like worse than like 90s movies that had cursing on like Cinemax, and then when it play on like TNT, they dub over like a white dude voice over a black dude or some shit that to stop them from cursing. It's so like fucking tacky and cheesy and like egregious and flagrantly foul. Do you think that they'll do some shit like that using AI to like make the crowd look more full in lieu of what happened with Will Smith and his AI gate controversy? That's my question to you who are listening. And then the cast is final for Street Fighter. It legitimately will have a shitload of wrestlers in it. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, I thought John Cena was in it. I thought John Cena would have been a good um, Guile. But there's some little idea I want to, you know, go down a rabbit hole that I'm not quite ready to. I'll probably do it closer to when Street Fighter comes out because I do intend on seeing it in the movies next month. There's not as many wrestlers as I thought. It's just so much star power in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Cody. You basically got the WrestleMania 41 main event in your movie. So, you got Cody and there's Guy. And you got Roman Reigns as, I'm going to say it's Asuka, as Akuma. But in the pictures I've seen, you haven't seen Roman Reigns in the pictures, like with the rest of the audience. Like, they just had like a little picture with all of them, you know, in the picture, and there's no Roman there. Even 50's in the picture with no facial hair, which makes him really look older than what he is. Like, 50's damn near 70. 50's damn near 50 years old. So, you know, seeing him without facial hair makes him look it. But even he was in the picture and Roman wasn't. So I wonder how much mystique Akuma's going to have in this movie. I even wonder if we're going to see the I cannot think of the name. And it's terrible because I love Akuma. But I wonder if we're going to see his finisher in the game. Like the demon move that he does where, well, only in recent years games they actually show him attacking another person. But like the Street Fighter Alpha series, stuff like that, the screen would just go black and you would just see his logo and hear the punches. And then you see Akuma with his little vest and a logo on the back. So I wonder if we're going to see that. It's going to be interesting to see Roman as Akuma, just in general. But anyway, so as far as like social media, and that's it. I think that's it for me in my pictures. My screenshots. Wardlow is apparently injured again. He just came back. I'm trying to remember the last time we had a wrestler get injured as soon as they come back. Was it Sin Cara with the broken finger? It wasn't that long ago, right? Did somebody come back and right after they came back, they injured their leg? I know Dakota Kai used to get injured a lot of times when she would come right back. AJ Styles was the last time, right? Remember he came back and he got injured in the match with Carmelo Hayes? Well, that happened to Wardlow apparently. He just came back at the last AEW pay-per-view and I think joined the Don Callis family, and apparently he's already out again with probably a pectoral muscle that's going to have him out for a while. So that sucks. The guy just can't catch a fucking break. He can't. He was gone off of TV for the longest. After the whole fiasco with the Devil and it being Adam Cole, and you know that didn't pan out. And then he comes back and gets an injured pectoral muscle. I like Wardlow, but it's just his fucking AEW run has been snake bitten. He might have to see, you know, it might be time to see other companies. But I think that's it for my screenshots. Yes, that's it for my screenshots. So let's go on to social media. Let's go to Instagram. And we'll probably conclude this episode possibly under an hour tonight. It won't be an hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours like last week. That much I could assure you. I mean, fuck, it's 1:07 a.m. here in Indiana as I do this this Dog's Day. But I'm done with the shows. As far as like AEW, other than, you know, Wardlow getting injured, fucking tonight's episode they had Toni Storm facing Sky Blue. I don't remember who won the match, but I do remember Toni Storm coming out doing like a black and white version of the Sandman tribute, which Sandman just had like an appearance at some indie show. And they show him in the back like making a kendo stick with like a hoagie. That motherfucker looks like Neil McDonough. He looks like Neil McDonough now. And if you don't know who Neil McDonough is, just he looks like he could be the black dude from Cousin Skeeter's dad. You always see like these memes of like the black and white version of this person. Like we had the black John Cena was Darren Young, and then we had like fucking Meryl Streep is like the white version of Future, and then they had the black kid from fucking Cousin Skeeter and Neil McDonough, white actor by the way, looking like he could be his dad, and they do look alike. I mean, God. But Neil McDonough was actually in Bison, since we talked about Street Fighter. He was actually in Bison, the Chun-Li Street Fighter movie that came out like 2009. And Sandman is turning into him. He is turning into him. If you look up Neil McDonough and look at Sandman 2025, tell me the motherfuckers don't look alike. But anyway, she came out and did Sandman tribute. I don't think she came out to enter Sandman, though. And did like the beer entrance or whatnot, though I don't think she did beer. And then she had a match with Sky Blue. At one point, I think there was a powerbomb to like mouse traps, which is way better than gummy bears. Booker T got on like AEW about that and said like, how the fuck can we watch this shit? And he didn't say that, but he's like, what are we watching here? And he got on Ronda Rousey's ass too, because Ronda threw Liv Morgan under the bus. Not Liv Morgan, but they did feud because Liv Morgan actually cashed in on Ronda in 2022. But she threw Alexa Bliss under the bus because she's like, why do we have me feuding with Alexa Bliss? I guess because she makes money. And a lot of people get around this shit about it because people like Alexa Bliss. She's a very likable human being. And she has a very big crowd, fan following. So a lot of people don't take kindly to Ronda Rousey, who, after her last run, did not get along with the fans. The fans did not like Ronda Rousey. They shitted on her from her last run. So a lot of people didn't like her for that. But my thing is, I remember when I saw Alexa Bliss versus Ronda. Ronda pretty much handled her the whole match. And I think that's when Ronda won her first championship. But I kind of see where Ronda's coming from, because it's just not, you don't book that match and not say, yeah, Ronda's going to fucking crush her. You know what I'm saying? And then even when she feuded with Liv Morgan, you had to like have Liv like win by flukes and shit like that. And I can even understand Ronda saying like, I'm not tapping to anybody, because she pretty much pulled like what her inspiration did to Hulk Hogan. Like, remember Roddy Piper said, I'm not losing to Hogan clean. She's like, look, I'm not losing to any of these WWE girls by submission. It wasn't believable. Ronda, for even her last two losses, got her shit kicked in. She used to destroy motherfuckers with arm bars in UFC in seconds. So yes, it's not believable anybody in WWE other than maybe Shayna Baszler beating her by submission. So I can understand where she's coming from there. But yeah, like shitting on Alexa Bliss, even when you won the match almost in a squash, it's just not, it's kind of a hit below the belt. So Booker T kind of, he said some shit about her. Like, look, don't nobody fuck with you. Nobody likes you. You know what I'm saying? So, and Booker used to like Ronda Rousey. He used to call her Ronda Rousey. Like, Booker doesn't say Ron. Like, he say Ron. So any word that's like Ron, R-N-O, he go say it as Ron. Like Ron Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Ronda Rousey. Booker T be cracking me up. And everybody's like tripping on Booker now, because when Tiffany Stratton come out, he said, I'm about to pop my neck. Everybody thought he said, I'm about to pop my dick. I'm like, oh my God. Y'all wish Booker said that, even though y'all wish y'all heard Booker say that. But hey, Booker don't gotta say shit like that to make people be like, what the fuck Booker said? Booker always saying some shit. So I like Booker. Like, a lot of people don't like Booker T on commentary. And I love Booker on commentary because he always entertain me and crack me the fuck up. I don't ever want to leave commentary. I didn't want Wade Barrett to leave, but it's now controversy about, hey, did Nikki Bella have anything to do with that? Yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Because it could have just been his contract expired. But I don't know. I haven't really followed up with that. Just like I haven't really much with the Psycho Stu shit. Like, I still know that Raj has not been arrested. And the Danger Pro Wrestling, wherever their company was, they was just trolling I guess the irony of it was, hey, our company's name is Danger Pro Wrestling, so we got this really dangerous, crazy person appearing on our show, and then they said that, oh, we was just trolling. Now our like WWE ID tag got revoked, which they never had one, so they're just making light of it. Some people consider it Bush League and amateurish and a bad look, but I love when people got like gallows humor and could laugh about shit. That's why I'm like, yeah, you can have your serious commentators, but you need somebody that's a little wacky too, like a Jerry the King Lawler or a, even a Mauro Ranallo who's a little over the top and hyperbolic in his response, or a Booker T that just like say some of the most wacky, insane shit like Dusty Rhodes used to back when he was a commentator. Like people remember Dusty for not being good if you looked at him as a serious commentator. If you looked at him for entertainment, then you got what you was looking for. So, other than that, Matt Riddle talking shit about AJ Lee and going on his little rant about missing a charity show. I don't ever expect to see Matt Riddle in a major wrestling company again. Matt Riddle might have to go to Mexico and wrestle, kind of like, Marty Scurll and Alberto Del Rio, anybody else who got a disgraced name. Like, I'm surprised Joey Ryan just hasn't gone to Mexico yet. He's got like a channel basically now on YouTube basically saying like, hey, are you the victim of cancel culture now? And it's just like everything he's done to try to like redeem himself is just the opposite of shit you would do to try to redeem yourself. He might as well just go and wrestle in Mexico if he wants to be back in wrestling, because they don't really, I hate to say it, they don't really give a shit about the shit you do out here in America. So if you want to just go wrestle, go to Mexico. That's why I think we'll probably, if they still want to, because they not going to be able to wrestle here, you should go to Mexico. I think Matt Riddle will probably be better off with just going there if he wants to continue wrestling, because it ain't going to work out here. You burnt your bridges. Even Austin Aries hasn't burned bridges as bad as Matt Riddle has. Like, it would take a Shawn Michaels from the 90s to 2002 about face for people to even have faith in him again. Like, he's clearly on something and doesn't give a fuck and doesn't, he's just a bad PR move. You know what I'm saying? Bringing him back. He has no filter and clearly on something. Just, it's not good. It's not a good look hiring him back. But, and then him talking about AJ Lee used to get around, when really the only person that people even really could say, you could say CM Punk got around. Yeah, CM Punk dated Lita, dated Mickey James, dated fucking AJ, got married to her. A few other female wrestlers. But only people know AJ for being with is maybe, and not around the same time, was maybe, I think she was with Trent Beretta, because that's where the Chick Busters comes from. Her and Caitlyn. Jay Lethal, because he trained her, and then Punk. That's it. It wasn't like she was like a rat. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that's somebody's wife now. So he's just so tone deaf and does not have a filter and does not care about what he says about people. And yeah, I think you would have a better chance in hiring the Young Bucks and Jack Perry in the same company as CM Punk than having Matt Riddle in the same company after he said some shit like that about his wife. Because Punk don't play about AJ at all. So, yeah. It's hard to like Matt Riddle right now. I love his in-ring work, but it's hard to like him as a human being right now, because he's not looking like a good human being right now. Other than that, the only thing else I got to say is about Vince. So, people with this Vince shit, people, I guess, are starting to come around on Vince as far as, like, looking at how things he ran. I think people are starting to have hindsight appreciation for Vince as far as, like, the way he ran things and things being a little bit more affordable under Vince. Because these ticket prices are fucking ridiculous. And word came out. It said the Vince primarily. This is from Goldman Sachs, a Goldman Sachs conference. It says Vince primarily priced tickets for families and wasn't focused on maximizing the opportunity to increase said prices like TKO has. And a lot of fans just don't fuck with TKO. They think they're greedy. They think they're very avaricious, which they think that they're not about families being able to afford to go to shows. And they think they're very much about the richest of the rich and strictly about the financial part than what the people want. A good leader, good leadership, it's kind of like the same dynamic and dichotomy between Republican and Democrat. Like you somewhat have Democrat leaning more towards people and what people want and people's rights and the way people are treated, whereas Republican seems to lean more to the fiduciary things and how America make money and things like that, and valuing money sometimes over human rights. I think you need a middle ground. And TKO doesn't really understand that middle ground. Yes, the company is making more money hand over fist than it ever has before. But when we had Vince, yeah, we had shitty storylines. And ideally, like many people said, Vince will have still been in the company, but let's just let, Triple H and Shawn Michaels run creative. But Vince had the WWE Network, and you had things a little bit more under the same. Like, you wouldn't have had Raw here, pay for this here, pay for SmackDown here, pay for pay-per-views here, pay for NXT here. And then it'd be like damn near $100+ for all of that if you really want to consume all of that in full and not just highlights when they get uploaded on, right after the show ends. So I think people are starting to finally come around on Vince from that perspective, not with the whole Janelle Grant stuff, but as far as him being like, hey, I'm for families. I want the whole family to come show. It's kind of like the same thing with like games, like the problem with gaming, like where you have some companies are all about microtransactions, like the shit that 2K, gets flack for. Like they're all about microtransactions, and even recently they started to open up like My Faction. Like if you play My Faction, you unlock the character into the game. Okay. Some people don't like how certain characters are behind paywalls and all this stuff like that. And some of the way the DLC is handled, like, hey, we get celebrities instead of actual wrestlers that should have been in a game that weren't. But, they're starting to fix things a little bit, but not entirely. EA is more egregious with it. As far as like the practices with like microtransactions, and then 2K gets more flack about it with the basketball games than they do WWE. I think you just kind of have to be that way with WWE because the fan base and the way the fans are. But TKO is just, they are kind of greedy. I mean, let's face it, they're very greedy. And they're all about making money, and they're more about money. I think the fans and what the fans want is like number 5 in priority. Number 5 in priorities to them. I couldn't tell you what number 3. Money is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Money. So, but yeah, even when you like look on Instagram and you see that this has come out about Vince, about how he prioritized families being able to come to shows, you look in the comments, it's like people like giving love to Vince on that level. They might say what they will about him shitting on women's heads and, his weird kinks and this whole Janelle Grant shit. And allegedly what happened with him and Ashley Mazzaro and him like getting brain from in front of the boys overseas. That's one of the things going around. We'll never know the full truth. Unfortunately, Ashley Mazzaro is no longer here. And that's sad if any of that stuff happened to her overseas. Uh, but yeah, Vince will never be back in position of power in WWE. There are some people that think after this whole shit like start with Janelle Grant and get settled, he'll be back like Brock is. But the thing is, Brock only got invited to some shit that he never showed up to because of weather, and asked for like a piss video. That's it. It's not as egregious as some of the things Vince did. So I don't know if you can even bring Vince back. And I hate to say it, but I think Vince will end up, if he passed away, he'll probably only be posthumously inducted into the Hall of Fame and mentioned in WWE only if he passed away, which is fucked. Because the guy is half the reason wrestling is what it is today. The other half died last month. So I'm talking about Hulk Hogan. Other than that, I got the links I'm going to post in the description. I got one of Gunther at a match he had at a live event with Penta, and Gunther doing Penta's dance to, basically mock Penta. It's good to see Gunther show some character other than just a serious, alluded Nazi Germany war general. It's good to see him show some character a little bit. I just hope they don't go full humorous with him, because I really only want to fantasize of him doing Alex Wright dances. I never really want to see him do it. I don't even want to see Kaiser doing Alex Wright dances, and Alex Wright helped train Ludwig Kaiser. But don't go full Gunther comedy when he comes back from his injured leave, I guess. And then we had like a Jimmy and Jay segment, because Jimmy was like, look, we got to run the play tonight. Jay like, what you mean? It's like, yeah, we got to go help LA Knight against the Vision. It's like, I don't give a damn about no damn LA Knight and Bronson Reed having a match. And Jimmy like, look, bro, don't be like that. Jay like, look, that's their business. I don't mess with LA Knight. And this is where it got a little, if you pay attention to wording, Jay say, what we go do is anybody get in our way, we go make them acknowledge us, and we go smash them. And Jimmy like, that's not the Jay I know. In fact, you kind of sound like Roman. And then the crowd go, oh. And Jay's like, maybe not sounding like myself is what I need to do. And I'm like, no, maybe you need to get yourself a Snickers. Maybe Jimmy need to give Jay a Snickers, because he's not himself right now. He ain't feeling very oozy right now. But yeah, that's an all-timer right there, that segment. I'm also gonna post like a little picture or a link to like Ice Spice just had a song with I think Lotto, and the song, I could tell you right now, you're not gonna go to the song for content to see the video. You're not going to the video because you want to hear lyricism. It's a wrestling themed video. Even like the name of the song, which I don't remember, and I think with what they were wearing, I wasn't meant to remember anything but what they were wearing. It had like an Attitude like looking font. It looked kind of like the WWF Attitude logo. But she had an homage to Torrie Wilson, and it was an homage to Torrie Wilson's Playboy article, I think, with her in Sable attire / what she wore on SmackDown vs. Raw, with the Torrie shirt with the cuts in the middle. So I think that was pretty cool. I love seeing people show love for wrestling in any form of media outside of wrestling. I always pop for that, because there was a point in wrestling history where people were afraid to show they were fans, and now you got people that aren't afraid to show it, like Megan Thee Stallion, her love for anime, but some people think she's just a casual and pretending to know more than she is. I think you call it a stylist, SCIOLIST. somebody pretend to like something or know something more than what they do. So they think she like a fake fan. But you got people like West Side Gun. He got Fourth World Wrestling. He got his own little wrestling company. And you know, didn't like Master P about like fucking what's the name from Amazing Red not too long ago? Like, I wonder what happened with that. I can't think of his name. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I just love people embracing wrestling. And if we get people embracing enough, maybe we could get a rap versus wrestling game or something like that. Probably have like all the wrestlers that have appeared in WWE games in prior years in one game for once, all in one game. Like MGK, Post Malone, who said he wanted to have a match with Seth Rollins one year at Mania. And I'm like, it's not completely far-fetched because he was in the game a few years back. But you've had MGK in the game, you've had Limp Bizkit in the game, you've had Bad Bunny in the game. I wouldn't mind seeing a wrestlers versus WWE or wrestlers versus wrestler, rappers game. And maybe, WWE buy the license, the Aki license, and bring back a Def Jam Vendetta type game. It would be nice to see. But other than that, the only other clip I got, or links I'll post, Obafemi had a match. Him and Ricky Starks are feuding right now. They're going to have a match at Homecoming, I believe, for the title. But they had a tag team match. I forget who else was in it. And they were going against, I guess, Dark State. And there was a point where Obafemi had, like, I think Cutler James, like a front face lock. And then did Ricky Starks' taunt and kind of made Ricky Starks like break character and laugh a little bit. It was kind of funny. I love little moments like that when, wrestlers who don't really have a comedic gimmick do like comedic things out of character and make like other wrestlers like break character. I love shit like that. I like what Gunther did in his match with Penta, like making fun of Penta's walk, and then Oba doing like Ricky Starks' taunt. You know what I'm saying? His little Michael Jackson taunt. I used to think it was like a little feminine of him to do that taunt. Then I thought, oh, okay, it's an homage to Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not really feminine then. But you got that, and then you got like this. It kind of reminded me. Okay, so this kind of reminded me of Trick Williams. There's this clip I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put in the description. You guys go see it for yourselves. Blake Monroe, it was last week though. Blake Monroe, because she had on the same attire she had during the segment where she got busted open by Jordan Grace. And she was going to like her little trailer. And the fans was like, because her song goes, oh, or something like that. And the fans was like, why you wrestle so good? Oh. Why you so damn fine? Oh. Good God. Oh. And every time she'd say, she'd do like a little post. And it just reminded me of like Trick Williams when he comes out and they say, whoop that trick. And then Booker does this, oh yeah, man. Does this little ad-libs and shit like that. So I just thought that was kind of funny and cute, because Blake Monroe is very, very fucking cute. And her little segment where I guess she's turned into Carrie. I guess we go get Psycho Blake Monroe. I love it. I love what they're doing with it. I love crazy women gimmicks. And, some people, oh, what about women's mental health? I'm like, look, they're putting on for women's mental health with these gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this representation makes people say, hey, crazy chicks are kind of fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had this happen before. We've had it with Luna. We've had it with Mickie James. We've had it with Victoria. We've had it with Tatum Paxley. Now we tried it with Alicia Fox. It was pretty good in the short time that she did it. They tried to do it with Liv Morgan when they really could have gave it to Shotzi Blackheart. They could have made her like the extreme crazy person. It would have made way more sense for her than it would have Liv Morgan back when they was doing it. They've done it with And now they're kind of doing it. They did it with AJ. AJ is probably the poster girl for it. One of the best women to ever do it. And now we got Naomi kind of doing it. And now they're trying to go down that road. They've done it with Alexa Bliss too. But now they're trying to go down that road with Bayley. And crazy chick gimmicks just fucking work. You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember any time. Like, I know the only time that it really got flack was when they was trying to do it with Tamina. And they had to kind of stop it because it was really getting to, I guess, leaning too much into, like, the mental illness type shit. But it was actually, for the short time, getting over with people, getting Tamina, like, people into her. And then the one time they was getting into her, they just kind of, like, dropped it. So that sucked. But anyway, I think that's it for me, man. I'm looking through my notes and, TNA. So, wrestling news. Next week, they're going to have the DLC. I think on the 17th, they're going to come out with the DLC, the Attitude Era Pack. For WWE 2K26, it's going to have Mark Henry in it, which isn't really the Attitude Era version of Mark Henry. It's the Hall of Pain version. But nonetheless, Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown, the New Age Outlaws, and Victoria. And some people, they look at this pack and say, well, Victoria was Ruthless Aggression, but on contrary, my friend, Victoria technically made her debut in Attitude Era. She was a hoe. That sounds so fucking bad, right? No, but she was one of Godfather's hoes. And then she had the thing where she was protesting against the right to censor when Godfather became Goodfather. And she was also one of the women in the shower with Eddie Guerrero when he got caught. And the GTV segment that exposed him cheating on China. So technically, Victoria made her debut in the Attitude Era. But she's highly more... It's kind of like saying, like, hey, you know, Shaq was an Orlando Magic. He was, but more people know him for being in LA Lakers. And even to a lesser extent, the Heat. So, yeah, when Shaq came into the NBA, he was on Orlando Magic. But more people remember him when he was with the LA Lakers and the Miami Heat. So, yes, it's kind of like borderline Attitude Era with Victoria. It's kind of like putting AJ Styles in a WCW pack. Because he's only there for a couple of weeks before WCW closed. But it is what it is. I brought this up because they actually, via my faction, added a TNA retro version of AJ into the game. And it's not quite, I am AJ. It's get ready to fly, AJ. With the short, with the first time he started wearing long tights and the short hair. And I could still pass for that AJ because that was still AJ doing like a lot more athletic, high-flying moves. But AJ to me at his best was New Japan AJ and biker shorts AJ with the red and blue, with the red hoodie and the red trunks. Or like the blue trunks, biker shorts with the red logos on it. That to me is the AJ I would have loved to have seen in the game. But you can still kind of sort of use that AJ with the long trunks and like with mods make it into that AJ, I guess. And the entrance is still modern AJ, which sucks. They could have like changed it up just a little bit, but whatever. Because the pyro is not even the same. Like, AJ had, like, the Randy Orton type pyro back during those days in TNA. AJ now has, like, the, kind of like, I don't even know whose pyro it is. But when he, like, takes his hoodie off, it just goes, pop. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in TNA, the pyro was like Randy Orton when he was with Evolution. It's just kind of like the Goldberg pyro, but from the top. So I wish they would have tried a little bit more with the entrance, but I will just be grateful that we even got TNA AJ in the game. Because to me, gives me hope that we could get a TNA AJ figure. Which also, to me, I hope at least would be the AJ with the trunks. Because that's the AJ I feel is like peak AJ. The one that made everybody a fan. With the biker shorts, the blue hoodie, the blue biker shorts, blue kick pads with the red logo on it. I even got like an AJ Styles figure from the Toy Biz days with the red trunks. And from back in that era. So I'll never get rid of it, even though sometimes the articulation of it could be a little bit too articulate to me. But it's the best AJ Styles figure probably ever. So other than that, I mean, they added 2003 Trish to the game with the purple jumpsuit and the, 2003-ish era with a Stratisfaction jumpsuit. And fucking Joe Mashups did an insane AJ Lee on PC mod. So I think it was called a part of this pack he released called the Bite Pack. I think it had Talo Tonga in it, AJ Lee, CM Punk, and contemporary version, a modern like Jay Uso with what he's wearing right now. So it's called the Bite Pack. If you guys want to like look it up on PC, of course you got to pay for it on Patreon for the Pro Wrestling Mods Patreon. But this AJ Lee looks just like if she would have been in the game by default. So other than that, that's pretty much it for this installment of Dog's Day. This morbid 9/11 version of it. But I want to just say I hope you like this. But if you don't like it, you could like it, you could love it, you could hate it. But one thing's for sure, you got to live with it.